Hi everyone, it's Rigel Jones here. Happy Monday. I'm here to do the Just the Tip episode. Today's tip is going to be for Pomodoro technique. So before I jump right in, I'm just going to wait a couple seconds for people to get notified so they can jump right in and listen in on the tip. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. I am running on very low sleep. I had a sick baby, so yeah, that's, every parent knows that having a sick baby, they know how I feel. So okay, so welcome to this episode of Just the Tip. I'm going to be talking about the Pomodoro technique, and my name is Rigel Jones. I'm your host for Just the Tip, where each episode will just be 5 minutes or less, and I'll talk about one business tip or resource that can help you build momentum, overcome your fears, and ultimately achieve your goals. Okay, so the Pomodoro technique. Some of you may be wondering, what the heck is a Pomodoro technique? Well, Pomodoro is Italian for tomato, and this guy in the 1980s had this concept of time management. He was in university and he observed that, he was more productive when he worked in intervals. So his name, I believe, is Francesco Cirillo, if I'm not mistaken, in the 80s. And this was obviously in Italy that, and while he was in university, he figured that if he works in 25-minute intervals and takes a 5-minute break in between, then he is more likely to get more work done. So the principles of a Pomodoro technique is very, very manual. You set a timer. So I'll tell you about the actual principle of the Pomodoro technique itself. You don't have to follow this when you're doing it yourself, but the principle is that you set a timer for 25 minutes, and once the timer rings, you put a check mark on a piece of paper. So if you have fewer than 4 check marks on a piece of paper, you can take 5 minutes break in between those 25-minute intervals. But if you have 4 or more check marks on a piece of paper, meaning you've done 4 25-minute intervals or more, then you can take a longer break, 30 to 35 minutes of break in between these intervals. So that's the principle of the Pomodoro technique. It's very manual. He called it the Pomodoro technique because he just literally got one of those tomato-shaped timers from a kitchen timer, and he called it the Pomodoro technique, the tomato technique. And you can actually find, I know I have a Google Chrome extension on my web browser for Pomodoro, and you don't have to, download the app or anything. So it's just a Google Chrome extension. So when you're working on something, you just click the button and it starts a 25-minute timer. There's more, complicated ones, but if you really want to track your work, your progress, you can do the same thing. There's other complicated tools that you can use, more with more function abilities, and you can actually track projects. But if you want to keep it very manual and simple, this technique is actually really good for tasks that will take a little bit longer to do. So if you want to set aside 2 hours, then you will probably get 4 25-minute intervals within those 2 hours. It's a good way to do some work and do them in intervals when you're doing projects or longer tasks. For example, writing a book or creating a course. So, take 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break and then work for another 25 minutes, so on and so forth. So, but you could also use this for just one 25-minute interval. So if you're picking a task that would probably take you 15 to 20 minutes and you want to give yourself 25 minutes to do this, then by all means. And you know what? It doesn't have to be 25 minutes. It could be, 15 minutes. The sky's the limit, right? This is just a technique and you can use it at your own discretion. You can use it and customize it however you want and what will work for you. So this is what worked for Francesco Cirillo. I'm just trying to remember his name. and he made a concept out of it, which is really, really great, because now that there's apps and all these things. Oh, I don't know why all of a sudden it got dark. Okay, so yes, you can customize it the way you want, like the timer, the intervals, which would be really useful, how it would be useful for you. So that's it for today's tip. And sorry, I'm in my car today. I hope that you guys can hear me. If you have any questions at all about the Pomodoro technique, obviously I didn't create it, but you can ask me any questions that you want about any time management tips, productivity tools, and what I use. Please post them in the comments below, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Okay, bye for now.